Attention, Isle of the Lost. VK Day is today. I repeat, VK Day is today.
It's VK Day.
It's gonna be amazing.
Woo, get ready.
The Descendants is one of the most popular things that Disney has done in many years. But you might be surprised to learn what the cast has to put up with in terms of rules. Allow us to show you the crazy rules the Descendants cast must follow.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
9. No visible tattoos. As you're gonna find out throughout this list, Disney holds a lot of belief in the power of visibility, especially when it comes to the bodies and clothes of the cast. In short, they want to make sure that no matter what, the cast look a certain way to convey an image that reflects Disney in a positive light. But because of that, a personal freedom of the cast must be covered up at all times. Tattoos. Now, ironically, this is also a rule that reflects the world of the Descendants, as tattoos wouldn't work in the setting for various reasons. Multiple cast members are known to have tattoos across their bodies, including some places that are very visible to the camera, like Dove Cameron and her hands. However, thanks to wardrobe and makeup, these tattoos can be covered up or made over so that they don't get visible on the set. Now, obviously, Disney can't restrict the cast from getting tattoos, but they are no doubt warned that if they go too far, it will affect them and how they are portrayed in the show, and that might be enough of a scare tactic to get some of them to go small, or get them in places that won't affect their performances, or put them in the makeup chair for hours. 8. Being the Descendants. This particular rule is definitely going to seem a little harsh to some, and that is simply that when it comes to being on set to film The Descendants, the actors and actresses must be in character at all times, even when they're not filming a scene or doing a song or whatever.
When you're off camera and they're doing their coverage, you have to do everything that you were doing in the scene.
Furthermore, to enhance this rule, once they're on set or in wardrobe, they aren't allowed to talk about anything that isn't Descendants at all. If they want to gossip about the latest trends, movies, or games, they have to wait until they are offset and out of wardrobe. Why would Disney enforce such a rule? Likely because with such a large cast of characters spanning many storylines, they don't want them to get out of touch with what's going on or get distracted in a way that can ruin filming. It's a major process to make a single episode of a TV show or do a movie, and time is literally money in the media business. Not to mention, by having them stay in character on and off set at times, they get to better embody the roles and thus portray them to the best of their abilities when things start rolling. 7. Wardrobe for the Disney image.
All you gotta do is look like me. Oh, ha.
We all know Disney's very strict in regards to the image they're trying to convey. The tattoo rule from before is a good example of this. However, it goes far beyond these simple things and dives into the literal clothes that the actors and actresses wear. Now, obviously, on set, they have to choose what the cast wears because that's part of the job, to look a certain way and ensure a certain stylistic flow, which is totally fine. But when it comes to off the stage and set, you'd think the cast would have more freedom to wear what they want. And they do, as long as it's their own free time. And not on anything that is Disney related. Such as, well, if you think about it, the cast are often doing interviews to promote things like The Descendants and other Disney related content. Now, if they're doing an interview that is focused on something other than that, then the cast can wear what they want, as it technically doesn't affect Disney. But if it's anything to do with Disney, the House of Mouse has the right to choose what the cast wears for that interview. It may seem harsh, but Disney doesn't want to risk any young viewers tuning into the interview and seeing one of their favorite characters dressed in a non-appropriate way.
Check out the details on this super cute satin bomber jacket. How good does it look over this awesome layered romper?
6. Jewelry. Spinning off of the clothes rule, let's now talk about what kinds of jewelry the cast are allowed to wear in their lives. If you're expecting a no jewelry at all rule, then you'll be gladly surprised, as that's not what happens at all with the Descendants cast. However, there are some strict rules that must be followed. For example, for both men and women of the cast, you can only have one ring on each hand. This may seem like a weird rule, but it goes back to the Disney image we've been talking about on the list. Too many rings on the hands conveys certain things that Disney doesn't want to be associated with. But what about earrings? They're allowed, to an extent. If you are to pierce your ears, your only allowed to have one type of piercing in each ear, and that has to be one that can be concealed on the set. Going deeper into this though, there are some things that are strictly banned by Disney. You can't wear any ankle bracelets, or certain other piercings like nose rings, belly button rings, and toe rings are strictly prohibited.
I feel like most of this outfit is like hanging off of my wrists, and there's lots of gluing going on. This is maybe my favorite, besides this, obviously.
5. Etiquette training. I'm sure on the surface this one seems a little bit harsh, but trust me when I say this is one of the kindest rules that Disney has the Descendants stars do. In short, all members of the cast, regardless of character status or type, has to go through etiquette training before they start filming. And that training sounds exactly like what you think it is. It's training about how to act on set and in life in general.
Okay, perfect.
Why would they have the cast go through something like this? Simple. Because Disney knows all too well that there have been times where the fame and success and pressure have gotten to some of their stars, and they cracked as a result. So by going and doing the training, the cast can be ready for just about anything thrown at them and act in an appropriate way as a result.
What's this underwear hat you have on camera?
I mean, it's a hat.
This includes being coached on how to handle their social media lives. And as of now, none of the Descendants stars have gone on to do anything rash, to a serious extent at least, and some of the casts like Dove Cameron have even gone on to other Disney shows in certain roles because of how well behaved they were. So that shows that the training works. 4. Where everybody knows your name. One of the lessons you'd think the cast of the Descendants would learn in their etiquette training is to refer to certain staff or cast members as Mr., Miss, or Mrs. That way they're showing respect to the position of the person. But actually, that's not true at all. Every single cast member and staff member refers to each other by their first names. No Miss Dove or Mr. Bobby or anything of the like. To help enforce this, everyone wears name tags. No joke. The intent is to make everyone feel like they're friends or family, and thus keep everyone loose when they're talking to one another. But there's a fun twist on this tale. This rule isn't a recent one, it's one that Disney has been doing for decades, because it was Walt Disney who made this rule. He wanted all of his employees to call him Walt and not Mr. Disney or anything of the like.
Boo-boo, do it. Okay. Okay.
3. Know how to do the interview. As noted earlier, one of the biggest things about the Descendants is that they have to do interviews for all kinds of shows and news media in order to help hype up the series, the characters, and more. It's a lot to handle, and as we all know, interviewers can be tricky. They know how to worm in questions that may seem harmless at first, but they honestly are meant to get the cast to slip up and reveal things that aren't meant to be talked about.
While we were dancing chillin' like a villain, apparently I was dancing too hard, and somehow I managed to rip my wig off of my head.
But thankfully for the cast, this isn't something that's taken for granted. The cast are taught how to do interviews and deflect and ignore certain questions, including talking about themselves in a way that leads to other questions or even talking about their pets. The last thing Disney wants is unintentional spoilers, looking at you, Tom Holland, so they make sure that this doesn't happen.
So I think I had like 5 doubles.
2. Dating cast members. As history has shown us, both in TV and movie filming, feelings can grow within cast members when they're seeing each other every day or so for months and talking on the regular. In a way, it's kind of natural, and many successful relationships have been born this way, as well as some unfortunate ones. So, given this, you'd expect Disney to stave away from these kinds of attractions and such. But guess what? They don't. In fact, they encourage it in their own way, and it's because of this that many stars on various Disney shows have dated or even hooked up long-term over the years, including on The Descendants. More than likely, this is a plan by Disney to use the relationships to help get the fans more riled up and such. But you can also say that they just want their cast members to be happy. Or, if they did try and force them to stop, they'd just go behind their backs and date anyway. 1. No social media. If you go onto social media and look up one of the stars you follow, you'll occasionally see them post a pic of themselves on set or in the makeup room or something else entirely that shows you that they are about to film. Usually, this doesn't happen, depending on the setting, and for the crew of the Descendants, this is a definite no-go zone. Once they're on set, they can't be on social media, not showing off makeup or doing pics with the cast or anything that might tease what is coming. They also can't go and talk about what they've been filming, new cast members, cast departures, and so on and so forth. While this may be okay for certain TV shows and movies, Disney just doesn't want anything to be spoiled or revealed unintentionally, and it's hard to blame them for that. So, what do you think? What do you think of these rules that the Descendants cast has to follow? Are you surprised by the rules Disney has laid out for them? Which of these do you think is the most strict of the bunch? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.